Hey guys, this is Jared Kelly, lead portrait painter for In the Games trading cards, Sport Kings, Famous Fabrics. Many of you guys have collected some of my work on the art cards, and I appreciate it. For those of you who are artists out there who may be doing acrylic paintings, I just wanted to give a live test of a couple products that I'm experimenting with. We've got 3 different brands of acrylic paint, and all 3 claim that their new resin prevents color shift. So from my experience, the greatest noticeable change that I've seen in my artwork has been when I'm mixing acrylics, grays with acrylic paints. So black and white, not sure which one has more of the change in it, but usually when I'm mixing a gray, you can see the greatest amount of color change from wet to dry. So I'm going to do a live demo with you guys. This will be the first time I've seen it too, for these 3 products, to see if they actually live up to their word. These 3 products that I'm going to test out for you, 3 different brands of high quality artist grade acrylics. I got each of these from dickblick.com, which is where I get a lot of my supplies. They have great prices and very reasonable shipping. But most of my experience has been with Liquitex and Golden paints. And while I love them, there is a color shift that you have to deal with, and at times it's frustrating because it means you've got to repaint an area several times, perhaps, to get it the right hue that you need for the portrait. The first one that we're going to test up here is PBO. I've never heard of them before until I was online. I did notice they advertise that their paints do not have a color shift. These modern paints use a new resin that is not milky white. If you are an acrylic artist, you know that a lot of the mediums are milky white and dry clear. Well, this company, I guess all of them that are advertising no shift in the color, are using new resins that supposedly are water clear even before they're dry. So therefore there's no color shift, where the traditional mediums, being milky white, lighten the color a little bit before they're dry. So here's PBO's colors. I'm using titanium white and Mars black for all of these tests. This is a 60 millimeter sized paint. Let me give you the prices on it. Let's see. Dick Blick is selling these 60 milliliter tubes for $6.40 a piece. Of course, your cadmiums, other colors with minerals are going to be probably twice that. The next that we're going to use or test is Winsor Newton has an acrylic paint line that also advertises no color shift, and it's their artist grade acrylics. So once again, we're doing titanium white and Mars black, and these are also 60 millimeter tubes. And on dickblick.com, these went for $6.05. So put those down. And the last is Dollar Rowney. Never know how to pronounce that. Their Acrylic line, which is extremely nice. This particular brand had the most buttery consistency, viscosity. So you can see their heavy body. They also give you more in their tubes, and this is the smallest tube that they offer. And Dollar Rowney, you see, they had theirs for their Acrylic line with 75 milliliter tubes, and they sold them for $4.68. So if you're into saving a few bucks, this honestly was the nicest consistency that I mixed up for the gray. Extremely thick, buttery, and just great consistency. When I did this sample, before I let it dry, I noticed I put it on real thick because I didn't want any of the cardstock to show, but it was covering completely on the first stroke, so it's not thin in the least. So without any further ado, I'm going to watch with you guys as we do this to see what the difference is. Let me reveal the wet paint I mixed up for each one. Get a brush ready. Alright, the first one we're going to double check is PBOs. So I'm just grabbing some of the paint I mixed and I'm going to put it right on here. Alright, not sure how well you can see it on camera, but PBO does look like there's a light difference. It does appear to be about a shade lighter wet. Let's do Winsor Newton. Put it on real thick. This one has, it's a little less. It's definitely closer to the dried version. Last but not least, just see if this may be the best one. This is our Acrylic line, and it was the cheapest. And wow, this one may actually be the closest to the dry form. Once again, not sure how well this is going to translate on camera, but these are wet, and you can see the conclusion for me is the Acrylic looks to be perhaps the closest. A very close second is the Winsor Newton product, and last out of the whole three tests would be PBO, which was much more noticeably lighter, thus the color shift on that is going to be greater than the other two. So Dollar Ronnie has their Acrylic line. I can't very much tell a color shift in it, and it was about $2 cheaper than the Winsor Newton line, but I would recommend either one of those. Not to mention Acrylic offers you 75 milliliters to Winsor Newton's Artist Acrylic line that has no color shift was a 60 milliliter. So there you go. Hope it helps some of you acrylic artists out there.